So we'll go over the test towards the end. Chapter 3. Start copying this down. If you're not happy with your grade, now be the time to start the second 9 weeks, making sure that you're getting to where you want to be. Comes test time and you're not doing well on the test, all those calculators are going to be in that desk here pretty soon, aren't they? My other class is too daggone lazy to walk back and put it back in the box after they borrow it from me. That means I should probably get rid of it, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
You know,
It sounds like you should get it. That's kind of a good idea though.
yeah, if you put one, but if you,
Yeah, if you got like 3 in there, no.
safer. Here. That one. Chapter 3, again, this grade, the homework today will be on the first 9 weeks, but Chapter 3 test, all that stuff will be on the second 9 weeks. So, Tage writes down stuff, he knows that it helps on the test, right? If you don't write it down, then I told you guys like a million times already, I was gonna quit stressing over this class.
Something like that.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I lied to you all those times, I guess. Can't remember, if I checked their grades, did I already put the test in Moodle?
No,
I think I might have.
Sure you did.
So if we don't get to it, your grade's on Moodle. I don't get it back to you today. So, monthly expenditures, dealing with budgets and figuring out things is something I'm terrible at. My wife just told me the other day that she her phone goes off or something, I don't know. I don't do none of that stuff. My phone, everybody's mad at me because my phone stays turned off when it's off. When they call me, they leave me a message like got a couple of messages this past weekend. Just thought maybe I'd try and see if you were gonna answer your phone today. Real snotty about it and stuff, cause my phone just stays turned off all the time, I don't.
How do you feel? If they want you, they'll come to your house?
They'll call my house. I'll answer that phone.
I'll just come to your house if I remember.
I'm not there,
Kind of forget where you
probably
live.
wanna be away from everybody.
Is the road like county line you live on? That's right. I forget how far it is, but I remember the road.
So, with budgeting, again, what I started to say is, my wife got a message on her phone or something that my bank account was down to like $70 or something. So of course she yelled at me and said, quit spending money, which, alright, so she had to move money around, take money from her account and put in my account. But most of it's because this is the check that pays our mortgage off of, and we've seen that the mortgage is a big payment, so. But if I could budget a little better, which I've tried in the past and I'm just not good at it, and I need to keep trying. But if I could budget a little better, if I quit stopping every day at the gas station on my way home and getting, like $6 or $7 worth of snacks and a pop to drink on my way home, because if you figure that up, that's 30 or $40 a week. That's a little ridiculous after a while. So I gotta make sure I quit doing that. But it used to be that I'd carry like just a 2-liter in my car, and then I wouldn't stop. If I wanted to drink or something, I'd drink part of the 2-liter on the way home. But I've gotten lazy. Yeah.
Well, right now it'd be cold, it'd freeze. You have to put it in the heat pad.
When you get to be a certain age, that doesn't matter anymore. What matters is the money.
You act like you're a dinosaur or something. You're not
Huh?
old. I don't think you're old.
Thank you.
I feel like.
See,
you should-
I'm being serious.
She knows how to kiss up. Record keeping track of items you spend money on during a period of time to help you manage your money. Very good idea. If you can make yourself, it's a great idea to try to keep a budget so that you're not spending frivolous money on silly stuff all the time. All right? Because that's where most of your money is going to go, is it's going to be frivolous. If you can make yourself, which I have trouble with, not, think, oh, I'll start it next week, or I'll start it tomorrow, or I swear tomorrow I won't stop and spend $7 at the gas station. Huh? I know.
I'm gonna ask that.
Now,
But it never works.
huh?
I'm gonna ask that next one.
If I stop, so we'll see, all right, I'm gonna do better, I'm gonna quit. Okay. Just for you, Dylan, I'm gonna quit, I'm not gonna stop, none this week, and I'm gonna stop at the gas station and,
But if you quit buying that, you might die.
no, probably not. I might live a lot longer if I quit buying stupid pork rinds and,
Oh, that's good stuff.
yeah, it's not good for you.
No, but it's good.
Those are gross.
They're gross.
I don't like them.
Plus, my
But you
teeth
don't
are so
like
bad
the
anymore, I can't hardly eat
stuff in your mouth.
the real pork rinds anyway.
Do you not like pork rinds?
No, they're disgusting.
They're good.
You're gonna have to work on your.
No.
Yeah.
My mom's
So,
not hot.
keeping track of what you're spending your money on, and it'll help you manage your money. And I guarantee, when you get to be my age, you'll be a whole lot happier if, from the time you guys get out of here till you get to be my age. Because if you have that money saved back, if I had $40 every week, grab your calculator for me, let's just figure. Let's just make it $30. If you had $30 every week for every week that I've worked, let's see, out of the year, where do I work? We're off of school for 3 months, so that leaves 9 months. How many weeks in 9 months? About 36, let's say, 38. Let's go with 38. So take $30 times 38.
$1,140. Oh, you can't.
So that's per year.
How many years are you
I've been teaching for 32 years.
That's a lot of therapy.
36.
Crap, it's almost 40 grand.
How much is it?
Almost 40 grand.
4.
36, 480.
So almost a year's worth of pay for me when I first started teaching, $40,000. Now, so if it's, let's just say 36,000. Even if it's just $36,000,
Well, what would you spend that?
if I would have invested this or put it even in a savings account. Savings accounts are horrible, all right? And we're gonna get to how to figure this up here in the next few chapters. Savings accounts, not very good, but let's say I can put it in a savings account where I was getting 1% interest. And that was for, see, we can't figure it up without a whole bunch of different formulas that we don't know yet, so I'm not gonna go into that. But let's just do 1%. Somebody help me out. What's 1% of 36,000?
$360 extra. That sounds right.
Yeah. So that'd be 36,360. Now, it's actually, when we get to it, because we're doing it this way, when we get to it, it's actually gonna be a whole lot more than that, because I didn't put that whole 36,000 in the savings account all at once. I put it in there over time, and it's gonna earn that 1% over all 32 years, which, when you put something like that into a savings account, and you earn 1%, and then the next time, you're earning that 1% on the first 1%, and then the second 1%, and after a while, it starts to add up. And if 1%'s a really, really crappy account, hopefully I could find something that's gonna earn a little more than 1% at a time.
If it's 3%, be 1,008.
Correct.
Doesn't seem like much.
And again,
I'd rather spend it.
it's not, no, that's just the interest that you're earning, that's just the money that your money is making. That's not the extra money that I'm spending. So if you can do any kind of record keeping and keeping track of stuff and see what you spend and see how you spend stuff on silly stuff, that my wife gets on me all the time about. Somehow she's got now on her phone, I hate her phone because it's linked to everything that our bank does. Oh, did you stop and get gas today? No. Well, how come there's a $15 charge at this gas station? You didn't, that wasn't gas? No, that's where I stopped. I got spent more money than I should. That's all stupid.
Right, that was $15.
See, that's what she does, and I get on her about that.
But she yells at you, but it's all
You
right
can't
for
yell at
to
her.
do it.
Right.
Why is one,
That could be trouble.
why is one?
I mean, she's got a chance to get her money back. Try to stay with it.
Expenditures are items that you spend your money on. So that's anything that you might spend your money on as you're looking through your budget. What are some of the things? We talked about this back at the start of the year. What are some of the things that you're gonna spend money on? Vehicle, gas,
What are you talking about, Elijah?
what I have to do with insurance, utilities, car payments,
Water.
water,
Electric. Heat.
garbage. All right?
Garbage. You burn that.
Groceries.
Food, clothing, all that stuff. Remember, we did that chart at the start of the year, and we're gonna look at them again here in a few minutes.
Are you gonna do one again?
Good car parts.
Tires.
So different things that you have. Your living expenses, any routine expenses, including food, utility bills, just pocket expenses, extra little things like little things that maybe you could get rid of. Another thing that bothers her is usually on Sundays I go to Saturdays and Sundays, sometimes I go to auctions. And I spend.
As long as you buy something that you're gonna use.
Yeah, and see, and I usually do, like, last auction I only spent like $4, and it was the stuff that I bought was well worth $4, but,
Did it cost more gas to get there than?
nah, cause it's not very far. But it was worth $4, but my barn's packed full of stuff that maybe I'll use someday, maybe I won't.
Maybe me and Jim, we're not blind hungry.
You guys need some lights for anything?
Yes,
All
Light.
that
What
you
do you need lights for, Abe?
my garage has one singular light.
You need it, I'm telling you, if you can find well,
I want that
if you have somebody who could hook it up for you.
Yes, me and
No,
my dad.
see, your dad,
Yes,
so have your dad get a hold of me and I'll give you a couple of lights.
okay.
I mean.
You have that many?
I'm fine.
Dylan, just chronological age doesn't mean I'm gonna give you something electric and let you hook it up.
Oh,
'Cause
that's okay.
I just don't.
Dad told me.
No, because knowing his luck, he'll give it to you, the next day you'll show up to school, and you'll be like, oh, crap. Thanks.
Dad, he told me a story how to wire, but I can't say
A
it.
story on how to wash.
Well, a saying how to wire, black and gold, and.
Yeah, don't say anything still.
But I'm not gonna say the saying,
Come on.
it's a little.
What just happened?
Come back in.
little reason.
Dylan,
So,
Hate your reason.
Smack the Jeff just made that.
Children with electricity, my cousin did that once, and I had to get a DVD out of the DVD player, and put the wrong cord, and there was a big fiery explosion in my bedroom.
I do cut a cord.
Because I needed to get the tray out, it was stuck in the.
You cut the power.
It's very fragile.
I was
If I cut
Mental
it,
health.
you need to shoot.
Oh my God.
listen,
You just made it worse.
Something my PlayStation.
Douglas not comfy.
Man, Douglas is not some.
It's trying, but it's not doing.
It's gonna blow.
You're under it, you're under it.
Honestly, all of it.
Yeah.
Right here, it looks like
And then you can get off the school phone, but it might.
right here, it kinda looks like.
Actually, it's not even under on it. Or above on it.
Is it right in the middle?
It's like even if it fell, it would not hit her
It would
head.
land on our desk right there. Well, Liz sits there, but she's not here.
Hey, it's alive!
It would land, if Liz was here on that list.
It's alive! It's alive!
I'm not.
budget's a plan for using money in a way, that meets your wants and needs. Maybe not so much your wants, but your needs, all right? I wish that all of you are gonna go out and have all the money you could possibly want and, you know, be able to get everything that you ever wanted. I'm thinking that that's probably not gonna be the case, all right?
What makes you say that?
Because people like to buy clothes.
So make sure, again, that you budget stuff. Now, I'm horrible at budgeting, but stuff like clothes and automobiles, that's the one thing where my wife doesn't take into account. I drive the biggest piece of craps just because,
Yeah, she leaves you the junk.
right,
She gets the nice stuff.
just because that's the way I think it ought to be. I don't need some real nice car to show off to anybody or anything. And as far as my clothes go, I spend more money on clothes through National Trail to buy stuff like this shirt than I spend anywhere else. This tie, bought it at some dollar store down in Florida, I think, when we were down there, or no, Alabama, it might have been Alabama. My wife I paid for her to go have a massage, because we spent a week down there and her back was hurting her sitting on bleachers and stuff all the time watching my son. So I spent money to send her to go get a massage, and while I was waiting on her, I stopped at like a pawn shop across the street and then a couple of little ridiculous dollar stores, and one of them had this tie in there for like $1.99 or something. So most of my clothes, these pants are from Goodwill. They like to buy me shoes because they say my shoes are always horrible. So every now and then they'll buy me a pair of shoes, and it drives me nuts because I say I didn't need a pair of shoes. My shoes were just fine. But so on clothes and on automobiles, I don't spend a whole lot of money for myself. But all three of my sons and my wife all have cars that I know for sure that they're safe in and can drive to anywhere in the country. Whereas the car that I drive, usually I probably wouldn't drive it more than maybe to school and back. Car that I sold Dylan, that's what I drove it for about
Yeah,
8
you
years.
said that thing was awesome.
Dylan
That
put
thing was the
about
nicest daily I ever drove.
Dylan put about 8 years of work in that 2 months he had it.
Yeah.
So, things that you need might not always be what, or things that you want might not always be what needs to be on this budget sheet. A record of monthly expenses is what a budget sheet is. We've looked at one of these earlier, and we're gonna look at some more of them.
You smell food?
Yep.
It's like your van's nicer than anything I got.
It would be, but it's, the rear end's going out, and there's all kinds of stuff going on.
The rear end, isn't that front wheel drive?
Yeah.
Well, you don't need no rear end. Drag that rear end.
See what those vehicles are civil.
That's why I ain't driving my fifty too many, cause frames are wrong with it. It's my backup.
She wants to get the van fixed, cause it is still, I mean, it starts up nicer than probably any vehicle that we had. It's like a 2014 maybe, 13.
It must not make difference. Crap.
It's just, I got a lot of miles on it.
That's true, you drive.
It's a Grand.
A Grand. Oh, a Grand, a Dodge, is it a Dodge? Caravan.
Caravan.
Yeah. Caravan.
I mean, it's still not, it's still,
The only thing I really know is
except for the fact that it's filthy now because I haul everything in. So your average monthly expenditure is the sum of all your expenditures divided by the number of months. Next thing I want you to do, there's 4 papers laying up here. Take a second, try to do it sort of quickly and quietly so we don't disturb Hunter too much. He's trying to take his test. Grab those 4 papers and we're gonna talk about them. Bo, will you do me a favor and grab an extra set?
Yeah.
So I can have that.
I never in my truck because it didn't have brakes.
Yeah. Their kids are bad because their dad no 50 years and I was carrying out his house $3,000.
Hey, usual smell.
What about you got 3 to spend 30?
That goes through here.
Hey, wrong bike.
Thanks, sir.
Because you're closer to the outside wall. Oh, you get to feel the charge.
There he is, so all the bond.
No, small cookie.
Oh, yeah, Miss Laird's class is that way.
Well, I know. It's still far away.
So,
If you let me start waiting a second. They might as well be making a bonfire over there to get that smell to be over here.
The first one I want you to look at is this one. We looked at this one earlier this year.
That's,
At the very start of the year, I had you go through and write down how much you thought for each thing. Remember we talked about it because Kylie had like $6,000 for clothing or something. I don't know what she had, but I remember thinking,
I thought I didn't know you meant like be realistic. I thought you just put numbers down. That's what you said.
I did not want you to be realistic.
who would pay that much money for just a shirt?
So, this is a basic one, alright? And like I said, we talked about it at the start of the year, you could use it just to maybe get yourself started. Another basic one is this one. This is probably, if I was one of you guys just starting out, this is probably the one I would use, trying to just see where I stand at. Now you'll notice, what you would do on this sheet is you would start off the amount that you budgeted, just get rid of those. You see where it says actual, actual, actual? There's 3 columns for actual. Go through and for like 3 months, figure out how much you actually spend on each item, each expenditure. And write them down here. Then at the end of the 3 months, total up how much you spent each month. And then try to see, also total up this way. So how much did I spend for groceries the first month? How much did I spend for groceries the second month? How much did I spend for groceries the third month? And add them up and total up out here at the end. Because what that's gonna allow you to do. So if I do that, let's just make up some numbers here. Give me, how much you think you spend on groceries a month?
Like a month per month?
Month.
200.
200.
200?
Made by yourself, like.
How much do you think for the second month? 300? Third month? 250? All right, now this is a pretty easy one to do. We add all those up, and we come up with 750. That would be what's out here at the end. And what you do, once you have those 3 months or 4 months or however long you do this, before you start setting up your budget, is you figure out, all right, about on average, how much do I spend on groceries? Well, 750 divided by 3 is how much? 250. So we would probably want, out here in this very first column, we would probably want to budget how much per month for groceries? 250. So that would be 250 there. Then you see where it says variance, that's how much off of that you would be. So if you go out this month and you spend 300 on groceries, and you budget, you're budgeting 250.
The next one you better pay 200.
Right, that means you went 50, you'd be negative $50. So that $50 has to come from somewhere. You can't just, go down through here and have all these that you budget total up to what you actually make, and then spend extra on all of them, because then you're over what you actually make. So you'd have to, if you spend $50 extra on groceries, then you might have to go somewhere like to clothing or entertainment and say, all right, I spent 50 extra on groceries, that means I gotta lose some money somewhere else that I can't spend on.
Like dining out.
Dining out, something like that. What are some things on this sheet right here that you're not gonna be able to take money away from? Utilities maybe? House payment?
You don't need insurance.
Insurance? Now, one thing with utilities, might you be able to save money on utilities?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you know that you've got a whole bunch of money going out somewhere else, like I'm trying to do at my house right now, cause my family
Electric.
just doesn't seem to understand. They're all walking around freezing to death over the weekend. And our back screen doors wide open, wind blowing in. Our front doors, the screen's down on it, wind blowing in. And they're walking around with all in blankets and everything.
What an idiot.
Exactly, that's what I told them. I said, you guys are stupid, shut the daggone doors.
Yeah.
Why are you walking around, oh, freezing? Shut the doors, quit leaving the doors frickin' wide open and letting all the cold air come in. It was the same thing when we were letting all the cold air outside, running the AC through the summer. Shut the daggone doors. So, you could save some money on electricity. I get up,
Don't leave the lights on.
right, I get up,
Open the curtains.
walk through the house every day, turn at least 4 or 5 times, turning off lights, just flipping off lights. Middle of the day, no reason to have lights on, and they're on all over the house. But, I say that, my son, one of my sons, did a science fair project at one point back when he was like 7th, 8th grade. And we took a month and figured out our electric bill. And then the next month, we went around and they tell you to unplug everything at night because it still uses power if it's just plugged in. So the next month, we went around every day, unplugged all the stuff at night when everybody was going to bed, and went around making sure lights were off and the doors were shut and everything, we didn't save any money on our electric bill the whole time.
Yeah,
There wasn't any different.
5 cents, things like that.
Right, the usage was the same.
Or they didn't come out and check your electric meter.
That might be, it's hard to say, but, well, see, no, because we checked it. We went out and looked at the box and wrote down the number and kept track of the usage, because I knew that they, about 3/4 of the time, they just drive by and write down an estimate. And then once every 3 or 4 months, they actually check it. Now that's changed, because now they have some little thing that
Yeah, I was gonna say they can do it from like your phone.
they can, right, they can do it from their vehicle and just get it close to the box. I'm not sure how it works because.
I think they got like some sort of microchip info
Right.
out for the.
They're out of my house about every other day, 'cause the farmers in Campbell's telling them how to stay away from the lines.
Really?
Yeah.
The other paper.
I kinda like that version, I might keep that.
This paper, just another form for a budget form. It's just split up. This is a little more complicated than the other two. It's got just extra spots to put stuff in and, so you got stuff like, if you're looking at it, you got your, monthly living expenses, food, groceries, so on, household, electricity, heating, all that, transportation. So it's got all that stuff that's monthly. Then you got monthly fixed expenses. What do you think a fixed expense might be?
Like your house, their car.
Things that are always consistent.
Things that are consistent, all right? So like your monthly mortgage, that doesn't change. It's, well, I shouldn't say that, it does change at the end of the year. Sometimes if you got more taxes rolled into it or something like that, so that may change. But things that are constant, car payment, if your car payment's $200 one month, it should be $200 every month. So those are your fixed expenses. Things like groceries and, heating, water, that stuff varies from month to month, depending on the month. Your annual expenses, stuff like life insurance, car insurance, those are things that are annual, even though you guys probably think of car insurance as monthly, because that's how you probably pay it, all right? Because you probably don't wanna pay your car insurance one lump sum in a year. I know I don't wanna pay mine one lump sum in a year, not my insurance myself, but my family's. Car registration and tags, and I think we talked about this, if you actually live in Indiana, what's different about car registration and stuff than Ohio?
What's today's date? Registered in
Oh, I better get paid my insurance registered.
That's true, but anybody know, anybody ever know anybody or anything that buys car tags in Indiana?
No, but you can get titles in Indiana, you don't have to sign them.
So in Indiana, a little different than Ohio. Ohio is a set amount. It's like, I don't know, I think it's up to almost like $50 now or something for car tags. 45?
I think like $7.
Oh, is it? It might be higher than that.
65, 70 for my truck.
Okay, it might be higher than what I
Just
thought.
depends.
Alright, so you pay a set amount though, okay? In Indiana, you don't pay a set amount. You pay according to what your car is worth. So what Dylan was talking about, in Ohio, you pay tax on your car when you buy it. So if you go out and you buy a $5,000 car, you gotta take it and have the title switched over to your name, you pay tax on that right then. Alright? In Indiana, you don't pay tax on it when you buy it. So if you buy a car, you pay tax on it, I shouldn't say that, you don't pay that kind of tax on it. Alright? But what happens is, each year when you go back to get your new license plates, then you pay tax on it. So instead of being $70 for your license, if you got some real nice fancy car,
It might be.
they look at it and your they'll make you pay tax then, so your tags might cost like $200 or $300.
Jeez.
Alright, so then it's a better thing over in Indiana if you're driving a piece of crap that's not worth anything, because then you don't have to pay so much for your tags every year.
Or you better just start
That's
flipping
not
cars,
what I'm interested.
drive them a month and flip them. So you don't have to take the tag.
Stupid tax.
Uh, so that one does that. The last one.
Which one's the last?
This one gives you an idea of about how much you should spend on each thing per pay. So the charitable, I don't know where I got this from. I got offline somewhere. It was probably Goodwill or something that put this out, because I sure don't give 10 to 15% every month for.
Chair.
Oh, that says Dave Ramsey. I know Dave Ramsey's got a lot of money. He can donate 10 to 15% every month.
Say, I'll take 10 or 15%.
Right. So here it says credit counseling advice. At the top says 4%, and then the consumer CCA doesn't have anything for charity. All right. Housing, that's the one that we really want to look at. All of them are basically the same. They're all between what?
20 and 30.
20 and 30%. So
24 and 30.
how much? Let's just make up something here. How much are you going to make per month?
Say 1,500.
So $1,500 a month. 20 to 30% is what you should spend on your housing. So you know you're making $1,500 a month and you're getting ready to go out and buy a house, and you want to know how much your mortgage payment can be each month.
1,500 times.
Let's go right in the middle. We'll go 25%.
37.
Be careful now. I think you
That
went
ain't right.
bumped it over too many.
375.
375.
That's cheap.
Yeah, good look for that.
So that's how much you're supposed to spend on your housing if you make $1,500 a month. And you're right,
That's
probably,
not right.
you're probably not gonna find something for $375 a month.
What
do you do, like 40%?
What about
600 bucks.
So 40%,
Yeah.
$600, all right? So if you do that, $600, then,
625 at 2,500. That sounds more
so
reasonable.
then if we subtract that, which is 15, then you got $900, and that's gotta be budgeted on everything else. So you gotta be really, really careful.
Well, everything else will just take.
Maybe this'll open up some of your eyes when you go home and tell mommy and daddy tonight, you know, I really, really love you. I'd like to live here for the next 4 or 5 years if I save up some money.
No, I'm moving out.
I don't understand.
Heck, my house payment, my rent's gonna be cheaper here.
Can't teach them anything, can I? But trying to show them. You might think that right at the moment. Yes, I could rent them that cardboard box over there for $40 a month.
$379 a night.
Other things on there. Notice Kylie on there says about 6% for clothing. 6%. That means if you earn $1,000 or $100,
Second.
then you should earn or spend $6 on clothing.
I don't think
If you earn 1,000, you should spend $60.
I would still,
So let's say you earn 2,000 per month. That'd be a decent
So
wage,
you
right?
spend $60 a month.
That'd be $120 per month, no
That's like
more
in
than that
Joshua.
on clothing. That's
How do
still
you spend
60.
more than $60 a month on clothing?
Heck, maybe
Yeah, I
I'll
spent
spend
$60 in my 16 years being alive on clothes.
Why is clothing expensive in the first place? Isn't that like one of the main important things that we
Pick up
kind
my
of
hoodie
need?
for 50 bucks.
exactly, like a decent pair of pants is 60. These are,
When you get a new pair of pants,
Not if you,
Finding $20 jeans.
again, not if you do what I do. I go to Trader's World, Any jeans that I have, that's where I got them from trade school. And they're for like $5.
I used to buy all my stuff at work.
I wish that the school here would make everybody wear uniforms, because then that would make it so much easier on me to pay for it and everything.
I've got my.
So,
Would you rather?
The assignment, you should be able, probably, you got about 30 minutes, should be able to probably get this done while you're in here. Page
Oh, my God.
158, 1 through 16, page 158,